tonight with you?
Hey, we'll keep singing to a minimum. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Wade's Ventures YouTube channel. We are live. And guys, I found out before the show started that nobody has got the notifications that we are going live tonight, guys. So hopefully people start trickling in. But in the meantime, I'm going to spend about 20 seconds and explain what's going on here, guys. I am fresh from I thought I would never see you guys again. I was super sick. I was super sick. I was like I said on the Sunday show, I've never puked if that wasn't alcohol related until like a few nights ago, and it was crazy. So I even shocked myself. I was like, how no wonder there's no graceful way to puke, because if you're drunk, you really don't remember it, or you're drunk. But if you're sober, it's like the worst experience in the world. So that's what I went through. Let me say hello to some people in chat. You don't want to hear about any of this. Are you still whining about being sick? Hey, your boy Wade don't get sick very often, Mr. Bearded Picker, the best beard in the business. What's going on, Real Talk Mentor? Dude, you are amazing. Thank you so much for supporting the community like you do. RG, what's going on? What is going on, Robert? Hi from the UK. What's going on from the UK? Rebecca, what's going on? Hope you're feeling better, Wade. Yes, I'm feeling a little better. Feeling a little perky now. It was horrible. Tony, what's going on? Money, what's going on? Thrifty Bob. Dude, that's an awesome name. Beth, by the way, guys, Beth is like, she should come over here and just join the live show, because she's like 10 feet away. She's my amazing neighbor. Casey, what's going on? What's going on? All right, guys. Piper, what's going on? Karen, what's going on? Guys, welcome in tonight. We've got a crazy cool show. And tonight's show is going to be all about Amazon, sprinkled in with a little bit of eBay, but very little, mostly Amazon, mostly kind of the process. But more importantly, I'm not going to be speaking about this. Our amazing guest is going to be. And we should have had the show Friday, but again, I got the plague. I'm back. And we're doing the show today. So today is going to be an amazing show with a really cool guest of mine. And I'm really happy to bring him on, because he is crushing it full time. And we're about to bring the fire tonight. Great to see you again. Thank you so much. 777. That is the best.
That's good luck, man.
Dude, that is good luck. That is good luck. Okay. Without further ado, by the way, before we go any further, I will be hosting a big event on Saturday the 23rd, or February 23rd, which is a Saturday, guys. And it's going to be, we are renting out 10 lanes, half the building of a bowling alley. And I'm hoping to get about 60 to 80 people at this event. So if you're in Seattle, California, if you want to drive from California, or if you're in, anywhere, basically you can be in New York. If you drive to Oregon, you can be part of this event. And we're going to have a lot of cool resellers there. And so anyways, guys, that's going to be February the 23rd, and it's going to be from 4 to 8 p.m. So it's a 4-hour event. You can go. There's going to be pizza, bowling. I don't have all the details yet. I will give that to you. But if you're interested, please get with me via Insta. Send me a message to say you want to go, so I can keep you informed. All right, guys, without further ado, I've jabbered enough. This show's not about me tonight. It's about our cool guest. We invite really cool people around the reselling community. I was reluctant to find this man through Rise and Grind and the best beard in the business, Bearded Picker. And now I had to have him on my show so we can get even more nuggets tonight. And without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to these guys so they can introduce themselves.
What's up, everybody? I'm Justin from Flipping Profits.
And I'm Kristen. I'm the better one of the
better half of the team.
Yeah.
Definitely the better looking one. We are full-time Amazon resellers. We've been doing it full-time for about 6 months, but we've been doing the flip game, the resell game, for probably about 3 years or so now. So we do have a long history in the game, or we feel like we have a little bit of knowledge. And we have a YouTube channel where it's all instructional, all educational. We're all about just sharing the love, trying to teach people, especially from the ground up, how to sell on Amazon, because it's such a complex thing. And so, yeah.
Yeah, we're just having fun.
Yeah.
Doing this.
We just started, by the way.
Guys, I can't tell you how like proud I am of these two. There are sparkles in my eyes because they are super amazing on social media, and they're doing extremely well. And I think the biggest thing, it's hard to balance good content with content. Like a lot of people don't understand the concept of when they start social media, how much content should I bring out? Because a lot of people want to bring out a lot of content, and bring good content, but they don't know the balance. And these folks know the balance of just extremely good content. And it's also tough too, because when you subscribe to channels and they only put one video out a month, you're like, I want more. And that's what I mean by how much content do you put out for the people that are viewing you? You want to put enough content out so they like your channel, not once a month, but you still want to bring good quality stuff. And if anybody does it great, it's these two. So super excited to have you on tonight. I wasn't
I'm like blushing.
Kristen's super nervous, by the way. So just so you know, she's like all day. She's like, I've had a headache. Like, I'm so worried. Like,
she's gonna be, guys. You're gonna be perfectly. Somebody said, Christian's, your hair looks amazing. I'm trying to find out who said that, but
oh, thank you.
Yes,
it's probably because of the bearded picker from his first comment on
Oh gosh.
on our first video. He was
So our first video was like Justin has been actually trying to get us to do YouTube for a very long time, and I've been like very hesitant just because I'm more like a private person, and I don't know, I just thought it would be too much. So the first video I actually was Justin shot in my pajamas. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You want to know something hilarious? On our live show, I don't know if you're watching, but when we did the live show, I told him, I was like, dude, you look at my backdrop, it's like it's organized. You look at Shane Rise and Grind's backdrop, it looks like a tornado hit, you know.
Right.
And you look at Scott's, and it's like a combination of the two. But then you look at yours, and it's like literally I can go there and probably eat off your floor. It's so clean. And
so this is our downstairs office. So we don't like, our garage right now has like
is a mess.
It has like 3 pallets, and like it's full of just crap. Like we need to actually the next project that we have is we have to pack, prep, and ship like 3 pallets worth of stuff like tonight and tomorrow. It's just, it's crazy.
So yeah, don't let this room fool you.
Yeah, trust me. It's not the reality.
I was like, I said that, and then he ran over to the bookshelf, and I don't know if
I just picked them up.
Oh, just now? Oh my!
Literally right before the show, I was like, I gotta pick those up. It's gonna bug me.
You know I would have said something. Hey guys, I catch everything. I'm very detailed. All right, guys, so let's get into this.
DD, Flipping Profits were my final inspiration to dive into FBA. $1,300 in sales in 9 days. That is insane. Awesome. Great job.
Wow. There's nothing better to like. It's funny how when you're a content creator and you put something out there and it helps somebody, there's nothing better than to get like comments like that and messages.
Seriously.
And as you grow, you guys will understand that as more and more people discover your guys' amazing content, they're going to realize that, you know, there's so much more out there, so many more nuggets that they can get, and you're going to get so many more messages like that. And it's going to make it all worth it. Seriously. It's crazy. And so I'm glad that that's an amazing statement that you put in there. That's awesome, Flipping. So, or DD, sorry. All right, so let's get into this. We have an amazing show. If you guys have questions, put multiple question marks so I don't miss it, because sometimes I do miss it during these interviews because it's about our guests. And I appreciate you guys coming tonight. Again, it's going to be a cool show. And there's no better couple to do it with. Nervous or not nervous. Because your boy Wade is nervous, all right? I did cheat a little bit, guys. I have a little Mountain Dew, just so you know. I'm not perfect. I fell off the horse a little bit, but we're going to get back on. All right. Without further ado, tell me a little bit about you guys. And what I mean by you guys, I want to know how you met.
Oh, God.
So this is kind of a funny story. Maybe you can tell it.
I don't know. How personal are we going to get?
We're
going to get real personal.
Okay. Justin and I are actually married to siblings. So my older brother and his older sister are married.
Yeah. It's kind of weird at family functions.
Yeah. It was not planned like that.
Let's tell the real story though. Like we've known each other since we were like 14, 15. And like our siblings probably didn't look like they were going to make it like as a relationship. So it didn't feel so bad, right?
Yeah. At the time they weren't like, didn't seem like they were going to end up anywhere.
Yeah.
And actually his sister was the one who actually was like, you guys need to hang out. So I actually went to school to be a pilot. I flew helicopters for a very long time. And Justin was a rescue swimmer and would jump out of helicopters. So his sister was like, you guys have so much in common. You guys should be friends. And so it just like, we just started hanging out. And from there, it just like
blossomed into more. Like legitimately, I'm super lucky that like, I think we honestly became best friends before we became anything else.
Yeah.
So we're like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we've been dating. We've been together for about 10 years now.
Yeah.
A little bit less than 10 years. Got married in 2015. So going strong.
And we have 2 kids.
Yeah. 2 amazing children.
I'm like, I never in a million years would I have thought that.
So yeah, a lot of people actually think it's really strange when I tell them the story, but then I feel like a lot of people keep it like it's actually more common than you think. People just don't talk about it. Like
it's kind of it's kind of like a taboo subject. Like, hey, I married my.
No, I'm talking about the helicopter, guys.
Oh.
Like holy cow! Like if so, you're telling me like
okay, don't let Kristen fool you. She was like getting coached by like a NASCAR team for her to fly for NASCAR. Like she is like an incredible pilot. So
that's how it started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Back in the day.
And you said you're nervous? Holy crap. Every time I get on the plane, I said, people don't realize this, but I am deathly afraid of planes. Yep. Your boy Wade does not like going on planes. And that being said, that's why when I went to eBay Open, I was like, Mom, can you come so I can hold your hand? Because I hate planes, guys. It's horrible. And so you said you're nervous and you fly helicopters? I would have a heart attack. It was funny. My Ashley, we went to Alaska 2 years ago, and they take a helicopter and they land on like an iceberg up there, and it's real beautiful. And I wanted to go with her so bad, but I paid for her and her grandma to go because I'm like, dude, there's no way. If I go on that thing, I'm probably not coming back down because I will literally pass out and have some kind of issue on that. And that it's something I need to get over. But anyways, that is crazy cool how you guys met. And who would have thought you met and then now you're selling on Amazon full time and coming out with these videos how to go Trader Joe's and make a bunch of money. So that's incredible.
Yeah. After we started dating, we actually started working together, both in like the financial planning world and investment planning. So I think we take a very different approach to our business now, knowing what we know about like investing and about like getting a ROI and trying to turn over money quick and stuff like that, but which is a really unique approach. But more importantly, we learned how to work together well. Like that was like our training ground for like running our business now, because we were running a business before. We were both partners at the firm. And now that we're together running a business, like it's just way cooler. I don't know how else to say it, but
can you tell me how amazing it is to wake up to the person that you love and do the same thing, like, and be so excited about it? I think there's probably no better feeling in the world than to wake up, build a dream with somebody as opposed to, working at a corporate job, building somebody else's dream. Right.
Oh yeah. We know more than you want to know. Yeah. It was a.
So actually, when we worked in the financial planning firm, and I had to take a leave because of having kids, I went through, I think, like a depression for a while because I like lost my sense of self because you're so used to the, 8 to 5 and the structure. And, I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know what to do with kids. So we've always just kind of like
we've always had a side hustle.
Yeah, we've always had a side hustle.
Always had side businesses. And
just to keep your like mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I feel it like when you're around a baby all the time and kids, like you kind of lose yourself. I don't know. I mean, that might sound crazy, but
what how is it working full time and then also, having 2 kiddos at the house? Like give me a little snapshot on that before we get into the meat and bones and all that. Like how is it being a dad and mom and having your own business?
It is very challenging.
Daily, it's super challenging.
Daily, it's challenging. And we've actually gotten a lot of messages of like people wanting to see like more of like not only like this perfect life that we have, but also like the struggles. So I think that's something that we're going to try to incorporate into our YouTube, just showing that like my kids do have meltdowns and like, every day it's like, we have like a list of expectations that we want to get done, but sometimes, it doesn't.
And we never get to the bottom of the list. Yeah. Let's be real. It's a reality.
All right. I got a serious question for you guys real quick. So when the kids wake up at night, do both of you act like you don't hear them and see who flinches first? Who is it? Let me know.
I work nights. Like that is, so our structure and schedule currently, and has been for like the last 8 months, has been basically we play with the kids in the morning. We try and tire them out. And then right around noon or so, we'll try and we'll either go pack and prep or we'll take phone calls or do whatever we have to from a business stance until about 5 or 6.
Because my daughter takes a nap in the afternoon. So it's easier for me to get our stuff done. So after the park, she's tired, she takes a nap, then we just start our day.
Yeah. So we crank out basically as much as we can while she's sleeping. And then right around 5 or 6, we'll stop, take a break, have dinner, play with the kids more. And then basically from this time until 2 or 3 in the morning, sometimes 5 in the morning, I'm working, or Kristen usually will work with me until about midnight. And then
it's really hard for me, with the new baby, just to pull these all-nighters. I just can't function. I need the 6 to 8 hours of sleep. I can't do the let me just run off coffee.
Yeah, I can. that's
if something's not completed for Justin, I think it's harder for him to sleep. So if he finishes what he can get done, then it's easier. So I'm the one who mostly gets up with the kids.
Yeah.
Well, it's always funny. You guys know when you have kids, you lay next to your wife and you're you hear him crying and you're you act like nobody knows.
No, right? Kristen just shoots me a text and she's like, Stevie's awake, go make her a bottle. And I'm like, all right, I'd rather her get rest so she could take care of our son. Because our daughter is super easy. It's okay, run up, make her a bottle. Hey, it's okay, go back to sleep. And she's out.
Well, she's better behaved for him than she is for me.
For sure.
So.
Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about, first off, let me know kind of where you guys live. Do you guys have a warehouse? I mean, I know this stuff, but do you guys have a warehouse? How do you operate? Is it all in the garage? And then also, I think there was another question too. I'll get to that. But where do you guys live? Give me a little snapshot in the day of life of you guys. Kind of how do you run your business every single day? Which days do you guys source? Which days do you guys pack? Give me all the good stuff real quick here, and then I'll get to that other question.
Okay, so we actually just relocated from California to Arizona, and we live in the Scottsdale area. And we chose to come here just because we could get a huge garage, and then eventually we would like to open a warehouse. 80% of our business is actually wholesale. And I started the RA side of things.
We did RA in the beginning.
In the beginning, a lot of it. but then we shied away from it. And then my intentions were to just do like RA on the side to save for adoption. So I just wanted to show other people that there was a way to come up with the money to adopt. And so we mainly just source in Arizona
on the weekends.
Yeah, we kind of do it more as like a hobby more than like a full-time job, I guess.
It's like our fun part of our business, like going and finding treasures, you know, like
wholesale is not fun. It's basically like computer work and phone calls, whereas sourcing is like the fun, you know, like chasing
the next dollar, chasing the next like $1,000 fine.
Right.
Like, it's just I don't know.
It's funny to me, like when I say funny, it's very interesting. The last some of the last 3 Amazon sellers, you guys, Liquidation Pros, I see the Auction Professor, you guys all have something in common, and that is you guys are big into family, and you do it full time. Obviously, Liquidation Pros doesn't do it full time, but he virtually does. I mean, he has all these employees and stuff. But there's one common theme with success that I've been noticing, and that's people have like a really strong family like vibe, And I just think it's really, really cool that you guys are doing this full time and you're raising 2 kiddos. And you'd mentioned that, or at least when I met you, that you wanted to do another adoption, and it costs a lot of money, and that's kind of what you're wanting to like base your experience on and show people is making money for the adoption. So I thought that was really cool.
Like all of our, so we haven't like formally announced it yet, but we're actually gonna like start some type of a program where we're showing people like, okay, start to finish, because a lot of people don't realize like all the legal fees, like if we end up doing international, all the flights, all the hotels, like doing all that stuff is not cheap. And so basically what we want to do is start with a set amount of money and, a couple $1,000s or $1,000 or whatever, and then use that and just constantly flip it until we get to that like $50,000 goal or whatever it is to adopt. It's just, so that's kind of why we started YouTube, was actually so we could document that process, but also like show people how easy it is to do retail arbitrage. If you do it,
if you hustle at it.
Yeah, if you work your butt off, it's fun and easy.
Gee, they're already like, he's already spending it 5 a.m. and both of you guys are running off coffee, which by the way, looks like you guys can make some amazing coffee, but now you want to add to that? But hey, it's family. So let's get into the wholesale side, because I think some people are interested in that. Tell me how you got into wholesale, and then I've got some questions surrounding that, because honestly, a lot of people like retail arbitrage, but a lot of people want to learn about wholesale. And ultimately, it's really like that hidden gem. People want to like be able to get merchandise with multiple quantities that they can list, one listing, and have a bunch of merchandise that they can make margins on. So kind of tell me a little bit about your wholesale business and how you guys got started in that. I know it's boring, but love it.
It's definitely something that we get asked about a lot.
So we started, like 3 years ago, starting with RA. And then once I started having like kids and stuff, it's very hard to, run around with the kids and like source products. Like, I mean, they don't behave. So, and I get very embarrassed like in stores when they're like having a mental meltdown. So we did
private label.
We did private label. We've actually done like eBay. We weren't very good at it. We did private label, and we did really good. We did really well at it, but I don't think we
did from an inventory planning stance and like management, we didn't have enough invested in it at the time, and we missed a huge opportunity on a product where we literally got the #1 rank, first page. Like we had everything that every private labeler wants, and because we were in that spot for every keyword that we wanted, we sold out in like 2 weeks.
And we weren't prepared for it.
We were getting like $1,000 in profit a day on it. And then we turned around And we're like, all right, well, let's get a huge order in. And our Chinese manufacturers were like, all right, well, let's do this. They ended up making like a shipment, and it had somebody else's brand on it.
Because ours, the wrong label. Yeah, the wrong logo on it.
Yeah. So that stalled everything. And by the time we actually got our product back in stock, it was December 26th because it got shipped 3 days. We missed the window by 3 days to get into Q4. Yeah. And it was like the worst uphill battle to try and get that product back even onto page one because we had sat stagnant for so long. And by the time we got there, all the other competition had already taken up that spot. They had already, basically taken our opportunity from us.
So after that, I basically was like, I don't know what we're going to do. Like, I mean, we still had our main job, but our passion was in this, Amazon realm. And I was just like, we have to be able to find more consistent products in bulk. Like I said, because we can't run around with the kids.
Yeah.
So we started just really, Justin, I guess, did most of the research on it.
Yeah. So, we watched a lot of Watch Me Amazon. If you guys don't know who he is, his name's Larry. He is like one of the kings of wholesale Amazon on YouTube. So I have nothing but amazing things to say about him. But watched him a lot, talked to him about starting up the wholesale side of our business. And basically starting in April is really when we put our nose to the grinder and just went to work. And now we, are sourcing quite a bit of products.
Yeah. So when we first started to get into the wholesale thing, we asked to like do a mentorship and like, what can you do? And he kind of came back and was like, you guys need to figure it out. Like, I'm not going to give you the keys to the castle. You have to work your ass off. And then from there, we'll see what you guys can do. Because I feel like people get tired of like trying to help people that don't take initiative. And so that's what happened. He kind of gave us like that push nudge that we needed. And then it kind of spiraled.
Yeah. And at that time too, like we had both just left our jobs at the financial advisory firm. And we were kind of like, all right, are we going to do this or are we going to not? And it was either we're going all in 100% or we're not going to do it at all. And I'm going to go get another financial planning, job. And we were getting offers like to go work at other firms and all this stuff. And we're like, all right, this is our dream. Like, let's just do it. So wholesale really, like truthfully, didn't pick up steam until I want to say like September or October is really when we because after we didn't move here in Arizona until September.
Yeah. And so for every like 100 accounts that you will call, like wholesale accounts that you'll call, you'll probably get approved for like one. So it is a grind.
Like truthfully,
it's a lot of like phone calls and building relationships.
Yeah. Which is easy because for me, that's like my background. I was, I was like a director of marketing and like I was a financial planner. So I was constantly calling people. And so the relationship building just stemmed right over into this. And I would have never thought that would have been something that we'd be doing, but.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are scared of wholesale because of the money. They say like you have to have more money, like more capital to get into it. And I definitely think that is a true, like now that we are in it, that is a very true statement. So the more you can go ahead.
Oh, give me like, okay, so let's say that like I was you guys back in April right now, I'm like you guys back in April, right? And I want to get in wholesale. I know this is going to be crazy hard for you guys, but can you give me a step-by-step, like what I should do starting today? Like
spend as much money as you can.
Well, what I mean by that is even go granular though. Give me like, okay, I start the business, like go like step by step, like exactly what you think that would be like. Obviously, there's no magic bullet here, right? But give me like a step by step.
Like, okay, should we just start with like $1,000? Like, what would you do with $1,000?
Let's say money wasn't a thing though. Like
yeah. Let me like step by step what's necessary to really start the business. So first of all, you need to have an LLC set up. That's like the baseline. You need to be incorporated in some way, whether it's an LLC, a C corp, S corp, whatever you do, has to be a business, has to be structured, because when you're dealing with any of the distributors or any manufacturers directly, they don't want an email from, you know, Joe Lake Dog 69. You know what I mean? They want to see Joe at, you know, Hobbies Plus, you know, whatever. So have to have that. I would definitely say, truthfully, and people say you don't really need it, but I think it's guaranteed you have to have a website done. And that's like, until we had our website done, we didn't start seeing at any traction at all, really. Another thing that you have to apply for, which takes about 6 to 8 weeks in the state of California. In Arizona, it's way different. It's only like a week. But you have to have a state reseller certificate. So if you don't have that, absolutely need to. It'll save your butt. It'll make sure that you're, you know, making as much profit as possible. Other than that, I would say too, what are some of the other things you think of? Definitely a phone,
like a
separate cell phone, because
it gets kind of annoying. Like, I guess it gets like overwhelming once the calls start coming in, if it's like on your personal phone. But if that doesn't bother you, I don't think it would matter.
Yeah.
So is that like people trying to sell you product that are calling you, or?
Usually, because we have, now that we've been doing it for a while, like we've kind of learned the process. And, you know, one of the biggest things that I think we both have learned is once you learn something down to a T and you understand it completely, find somebody else to do it for you if it's taking more than 30 minutes of your day. And so we hired VAs, we have them running and doing all the sourcing for us. They're not doing the, you know, higher level stuff, but they're doing everything from application start to finish, communicating with the brands, talking to them. You know, I meet with them on a daily basis, you know, going over their progress. No, absolutely not. You don't need to start with that. But what I'm trying to get at is, now that we have them, like, we're getting more phone calls than we ever did, because before I was only spending 3 hours a day sourcing and trying to find new business, you know, opportunities. Whereas now we have 2 guys that are doing it full time. And so it's like way more accounts are opening, which is great. The problem is like,
it's busy.
Yeah, you're getting way more phone calls than normal. Like, you're so used to.
Did that answer the question? I'm sorry.
So, hey, your boy Wade, you guys are amazing, by the way. You make my job easy. I feel like I should be back here, just, you know. But okay, so let me again. I'm trying to start from the very beginning to kind of like advanced, right? All in like 5 minutes. So I know it's tough, but okay. So let me get this straight. So if I want to get in wholesale, I need to get, like, most commonly known as LLC. I mean, that's primarily what people are going to do, right? So they open up their business, they get that, which gets a tax ID and all that, right? So that's the first thing I need. The second thing I need is a website, because you probably want to have that in your signature, and then also to direct the wholesalers to your website so you look legit, right?
Exactly.
I think it's half the battle. Like, you know, for eBay, new eBayers, they make the mistake of not doing a banner and a really cool logo and explaining their business. And then also with social media, I see that a lot too, is people want to grow their social media, but they don't have a professional, like, picture. And you know, I think the details matter, right? So that makes sense.
100%.
So,
I had a major supplement company animal supplements. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but like, they do not deal with Amazon sellers whatsoever. And the reason why he called me was because he's like, oh, I see all the brands on your website that you're carrying currently. Those are really big brands. How come I've never heard of you? And it was just like, you know, and it's just the little details that change everything. So
okay, so I got the business, I've got the website. I need to get the reseller's license, right? And that's fairly easy here in Oregon, actually. Okay, so I've got those 3 things. I've got the admin stuff out of the way. Now what do I do?
So there's a couple different ways to source products, right? So you can either go the route of researching, like, directly on Amazon and just looking for product. Like, we have certain criteria that we run by. You know, we most oftentimes are looking for products that are over $10. Ideally, it's like $15 to $15 and up. Second, we're looking for products that aren't sold by Amazon. So there's a couple different apps out there that are really good to use. Like DS Quick View is really good. Keepa, obviously, if you should know what Keepa is. If you don't know what it is, go look it up. Get that as a Chrome extension. But DS Quick View is really special because as you're scrolling through all the listings, it tells you how many sellers are on it, how many, if Amazon's on it, and then it also tells you the rank of the product and the category. So all the data from a wholesale standpoint is right there in plain view. So I'll go through, or like the VAs will go through, they'll find, 10 products or whatever in the day, right? Then they reach out to, sorry, that's our son, if you guys can hear him.
Get him on the camera.
It's way past his bedtime. But so once you find the products, you essentially are going directly to the brand themselves. And what we like to do,
we also don't look for products that we can't sell like within like 30 days to 60 days max.
Yeah.
Like we don't ever hold on to inventory ever.
Yeah. That's like, we're looking for products that are ranked at least 50,000 or less in their category. With exceptions, we'll take some that are like 75,000. But our goal, even if it's only a 10% ROI, our goal is to get that money back as fast as possible. Because the faster we can reinvest that money, the faster you're going to, get that compounding interest rolling, basically. So you've got a list of products that you're interested in selling. You reach out to the brands directly. And the biggest thing that we always ask is, hey, do you have any authorized distributors that you're working with? We'd like to partner with them. We're very interested in selling your product. We own several online e-commerce storefronts.
Most of them don't want Amazon resellers.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've we started looking for like a piece of property to actually like a commercial business storefront, just so we could have an empty 300 square feet space to tell people, hey, we have a brick and mortar and we run an Amazon business. So we tell them, hey, we're in the process of opening up our storefront. We're interested in onboarding your product line and, into our store. And we also run an online business. What can we do?
Yeah. Because if you just call and you're very like,
oh, we're an Amazon seller.
Yeah, we're an Amazon seller. It's a no way.
Yeah. So
first of all, when I call, who do I ask for? Just somebody that handles, is there a certain like title that you're looking for?
Yeah. So, sorry, I feel like I'm talking so much.
Hey, you have one of the most beautiful voices in all.
No.
Don't say that, Wade.
Yeah. So, okay, so
I will say this. I heard you last week say the same thing to somebody else. You broke my heart. I was watching. You were with Liquidation Pros, and I was like, my heart has been broken.
Whoa, hey, it's a compliment for everybody to share. Okay, so I think that, and the reason I want the step-by-step guide is really helping, I think, is some people, they get caught up on, I feel like, this is just my opinion, I mean, I could be wrong, right? Because I'm dabbling in wholesale, but nothing on your guys' scale. And you're right, like, you have to adapt to your situation. If you don't have kids at home and you're doing this full time and you can travel the United States and, source for retail arbitrage, send it into Amazon, and that's an amazing way to live. But if you have kids and you have a house and, you've got to be at the house, you can't do that way. And then, so maybe another route is to do wholesale, where you have the products come to you and you get it directly from the manufacturer, which is a crazy cool way too. That's what's so amazing with just the fact that we can sell and make money from home, is like, there's so many different ways that you can take, so many different approaches you guys can take. And I feel like that if there's one thing that I've understood, it's the last 2 years when I've been friends with people that sold on eBay, it seems like they graduate from eBay. I mean, they still don't leave, but they graduate, then they move on to Amazon. and then they do Amazon FBA, merchant fulfilled, and then they move from that to wholesale. Like, you know, I feel like that it's like stepping stones. People get comfortable and then they move on to something else and learn that and move on to something else. So I just think that's really cool.
It's
Guys,
totally accurate for us.
I'm going to put in their YouTube channel link constantly through chat. So make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channel, guys. They've got really good content. So, all right. So you're calling a, first of all, you've done those 3 things: business, reseller's license, website. You look amazing. You look legit. Maybe even have the sparkling business cards. You're ready to rock. So now you found products on Amazon that you would like
that fit our criteria that we're interested in.
Yep.
You know, we'll do the research, back-end research on their brand specifically, kind of figure out what their catalog looks like, because when you're going and approaching them and you're educated on their brand, it's going to make a world of difference versus you just going to them and be like, hey, I want to sell your shit. You know, like, excuse my French.
Dude, I cannot echo that. So one thing that a lot of salesmen do and sales ladies do is, for example, I worked for T-Mobile, so I handled a lot of the big some Fortune 500 companies and some big, large nonprofits here for Oregon and part of Washington, right? That was my job for that span. And what would happen is when I go into a business trying to get their business, what a lot of people will do, a lot of salespeople will do, is they'll ask, they'll talk about their products. Like, for example, I work for cell phones, so they'll talk about our cell phones, when all reality, it makes you a better salesman if you know about their business first, right?
100%.
But the biggest thing too is like people were, you go into these meetings and some of the questions is you'll ask questions about their business. And I think that's the wrong way to go. You should already know about their business and just tell them the solution in which you have, right? And in your case, it's, hey, I'll help you sell more products. So, okay, so you called them, you got the list, you called them. Now, what's the negotiating situation? For example, like, what do you recommend? Like, how do you proceed from there? Like, let's say they want you're able to buy their product wholesale. Like, what happens next?
Go ahead, babe.
It's like, I hear Justin on the phone. He's like, hey, Peter, how's it going? I want to spend $5,000. What can I get with that? What kind of deal are you going to get me? What? I'm not going to get that deal? Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite guys. He's really good, friends with us. We sent him like a bottle of whiskey over Christmas, and I was like, "Hey, Dave, I got to spend $10,000," and he's like, "Great, let's make it happen." I was like, "But you have to get me, XYZ brand," and he's like, "Dude, I can't do that for you," because once you start building these relationships with the people, because wholesale is a relationship building process. Yeah. And one of the biggest things that I learned when I was doing financial planning was like just what you said, Wade. I would look into the past history before I even thought about picking up the phone. Take a look at, what's been going on with their family. How's their kids? Who's going to what school? That way the first thing, hey, Joe, how's little Joey doing? How's Cal State Northridge? Personal. I cannot stress that enough. We have gone through our, and you got to remember too, a lot of these wholesale guys, they're very old school business guys. They've been at this game for 20, 30 years. So they're kind of on their last legs, and they love that. And they're no longer getting it anymore because we're getting to a more digital age. And once you actually create a friendship with them, because it really is a friendship, they will open up the doors and be like, hey, yeah, you know what? I know that brand, it's not supposed to be for online resellers, but I found a workaround for you. And it's like, hell yeah, let's make it happen. Like, let's spend that $10,000, whatever it is, So
they actually end up working for you. Like when he says a workaround, Justin and I really wanted to sell this specific line of vitamins, and the guy was like, we can't do it. It's been months. where we can't do it. And he finally just said, okay, if you guys open Amazon UK, I'll do it for you guys. So, hey.
But don't tell anybody.
So it's like they're giving you the answer without.
Yeah. And giving you the opportunity, because that brand specifically has like a net ROI of like 65%. You know, like you can't find that in any brand. Like, and that's another thing too, is people think like wholesale is this great pipe dream and all this stuff. And like when we talk about like you have to have capital, like I tell people that are interested in it, truthfully, go and do RA and RA your ass off until you have at least 10,000.
Yeah.
Because the reality is yeah, you can go and start opening up accounts with a couple grand, $2-3 grand. It's possible, but the money that you're gonna make isn't gonna flip as fast as you can in retail arbitrage. In retail arbitrage, you can go and make 80% or 150%, no problem on an item. But with wholesale, you're looking at margins of like 20 to 30% if you're lucky. In most cases, your ROI is hanging between 20 and 30. I think we have like a handful of products that are above 40%, and that's it. Like, so the amount of money that you're putting in, yes, it's guaranteed that it's going to show up at your doorstep. The processing time, how much work you're going to get, how much you're going to get from a sales standpoint of it. It's consistent, but it's not enough to feed your family off of. And, in a lot of cases, unless you have $100,000 to spend.
You're rambling.
Sorry. I tend to do that. I get really passionate about it.
You just have the best voice in the world, and I just stare at the screen. Okay.
Melissa Francis, thank you for that, by the way.
Real Talk Mentor, my man. Appreciate the super chat. I really appreciate you. He's always supporting all the reselling community. And I say this every single time. I'll continue. Wish I can give you a fist pump, a handshake, a reseller thing going on. I appreciate all the support, guys, that you bring, not only to me, but to other resellers too and other creators. And Mr. Pac-Man, the best admin in the business. If you guys go live, you got to add him as an admin. He's crazy cool. He said, hit the like button, guys. If you can, it doesn't pay me more as a creator. It just gets them out to the world. I want to tell you something that it's short and sweet, and it will always forever stay with me. And everybody in chat has heard it before, but I think it was Warren Buffett. I could be wrong. I can't remember exactly who said this quote. I actually had to look that up, but he said that money is a transfer, and it transfers from the inpatient to the patient. Meaning, sometimes you can make more money being way more patient than you can inpatient. And I think that that's a kind of a cool thing with wholesale is maybe you don't have the capital right away, but you can bust your butt and do RA, retail arbitrage, until you do, and not just jump into whatever contracts you can get for a few $1,000s. So anyways, I'll never forget that. Money transfers from inpatient people to patient people, right?
That's a good one.
Rusty Raccoon, $2. I appreciate that, my man. I love me some Rusty Raccoon, although he unfriended me on Insta.
What?
And then yes. And then I was like, what happened? Dude, I thought we were best pals. And then he said he accidentally did it, and he friended me right back. So much love. Okay. I had to give him a hard time every single show. He has a dear place in my heart, Mr. Rusty Raccoon. So, all right. So we have all the back end stuff, the admin stuff. Relationship building is extremely key. And I think the gift that you gave to him means a lot. Like, I'm sorry, but how many people is going to take the extra mile and send them, a bottle of whiskey or whatever or bottle of bourbon or something, right? I think that's amazing. And he probably needs it, dealing with a bunch of people like you guys. Right?
Dealing with a bunch of Amazon sellers.
Yeah. And the funny thing is you want, like, people overlook this. When I go to Walmart, there's two ways you can act towards somebody, right? And the reason I act one way is because I may see that person again. Let's say it's third quarter, Q3, and I know the hottest toy on the market, and I see that person, I need to ask for their help. well, they're going to respond based on the way I treated them before. And I'm sorry, but majority of people remember faces, right? So there's two ways you can act with people and build those relationships. One, what can you do for me? I get that we're the customer, but we're also doing this as a business. So that kind of overrides the fact that you're there trying to be a customer, and you're more there to get their merchandise to resell and make money. So in a way, it's a business transaction. So what can you do for me, which is the wrong way? The right way is how can we both benefit by treating them extremely nice and building that relationship? So how can you help me, and in a way that where they want to help you, right? So, complimenting or finding something that you can talk about or common grounds, like it's just basic communication skills. And sometimes like it's tough even for me, but a lot of other people too, is like the day and the age of the phone, it's there's not much emotion behind it, right? And so sometimes it's hard to like communicate in person. And I think that that's something that's overlooked with a lot of people, is just like, I'm always trying to, like, me personally, I'm always trying to like better my communication skills in person, because I feel like that's still an untapped well that we can do to create really cool relationships to help our reselling business. And I think that really helps the wholesale,
Definitely couldn't agree more with you. And like, I think I was going on a little bit of a rant earlier, but society is shifting into this digital era, and it's great. It's amazing. It's wonderful. Trust me, I am, we're doing whatever we can to, push ourselves further into it. But at the same time, there is like you said, like a huge market where if you just
have a conversation,
take 5 minutes out of your day to try and make somebody else laugh a little bit or to be happy. Every time I pick up the phone and call like one of our main distributors, I'm like, hey, it's your favorite client. And they're like, shut up, Justin. Like, oh my God. And they already know, it's just that.
You start singing?
I should.
I would like to buy a wholesale deal from you. Anyways.
I think we should say it about the mailbox. That's how.
Oh, another big tip is get a commercial address of some sort, whether it's a P.O Box or like you go to the UPS store, because we do UPS store because you can still receive shipments there if they won't send it to your house. And that's another big factor, is some distributors and wholesale companies will not ship to your house directly. It is a policy that they have. And I've even gone out of the way and tried to make a workaround and say, oh, well, our warehouse is under construction, or, because there has to be some sort of loophole. Like you have to like work around what they're saying until you can establish a relationship, and because it's Stonewall. Everything is Stonewall. So you have to figure out a way to get around it.
Everybody's trying to be more corporate, I think. And the problem with the house situation is it's liability probably for them is the reason they won't do it, right? The merchandise showing up, and then, I think if it's sent to, a corporate location or like a corporate building or your warehouse or something, it's a little bit different than a house. Maybe legality issues there within their company. I don't know. But
yeah, a lot of times it's like higher cost of shipping because it isn't being delivered to a warehouse, and so like they have to put in like special like requirements for lift gates, and lift gates usually will cost anywhere between like $50 to $100. And even though like we offer to pay for it, most oftentimes it's free shipping from them, and so they know that they have to eat that cost, and that's a big reason why they don't like to do it. But
I just want everybody to understand one thing, is the fact that you guys have been in this game since you started in April of last year.
Full-time April of 2018.
Okay, so this is not something that they've been doing for years and years and years, and you guys are, becoming successful wholesalers, right? Like this is months ago. This wasn't years ago, right? So it's definitely attainable.
Wholesale really didn't start until third quarter, truthfully. Like until after our son was born. Like we really, really didn't put everything into wholesale until then.
I remind you, it's been a lot of like blood, sweat, and tears that have
got us to that point.
Yeah.
Like we busted our asses for like 2.5 years straight trying to make it work.
Yeah. And we failed 100 times.
Like more than you wanted. Like we were at a point where we almost quit probably 50 times. And the best thing, so this is going to be a longer story, and I'm going to let Kristen tell it because it probably comes off way better from her.
And she knows how to like drive a helicopter.
Yeah, right.
Like operate.
No, let her tell you this story. It's so good. Tell them about the.
So Justin and I kept trying at eBay, and just man, you guys, I have a lot of respect for everybody who does eBay. I don't have the patience for all the pictures, and so like I said, I was going through a hard time, after I had my kid and was trying to stay home and work a little bit, and I was just going to give up on everything. So Justin and I ended up going to a Salvation Army, and while we were there, he said, oh, he found a box, and the box was
security light.
Yeah, security light. He's like, I'm going to buy this for our house. And I'm like, Justin, what are you thinking? I was being not very nice. Why are you going to buy a light at a Salvation Army on a Sunday? It was half off. So it was like, I think we paid $1 for the box. While I was in the store, I shook the box. It sounded broken. And I'm like, you're going to buy it? And he's like, yes, I'm going to buy it. So we get out.
But the whole leading story up to this was she was like, I am not going to source this weekend. I'm so done with it. I'm over it. Let's not do this anymore. And
I was like at my
wit's end.
And we got the box. Justin opened the box, and it was somebody's jewelry.
Like their grandmother's jewelry.
Their grandmother's jewelry that got hidden in the box. And so that afternoon, we drove around to all the different pawn shops, and they offered us like $1,500 for all the jewelry. But I still have the jewelry to this day, and it was just like a nudge, I think, like a sign, like, don't give up, keep going. And so, yeah.
You're going to fail a million times before you succeed in this business. So
right. Don't give up.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't ever think that, you can't do it, because you definitely can if you stick to it.
What do you guys think that, not succeeding at what you want to succeed in leads to doing something that you don't love doing? So do you think that possibly, is that a motivation for you guys? The fact that if it doesn't work doing this, which is what you love doing, spending time together as a family and working together, that you have to go back to building somebody else's dream, doing something that possibly you don't like doing?
I think it's the kids. I don't want my kids to be raised by babysitters and people that don't really love them. I look forward to my daughter, like, being excited to be around us. And then if we leave, like,
it breaks her heart.
Yeah. She's like today, Justin didn't spend a lot of time with us. And so tonight she was so like, daddy, like you could just tell that, I don't know, I guess I just want to make an impact in their life, because we can't get time back. Like,
yeah,
all we have is time.
It's what is it? The only currency that really means anything at the end of the day is time. And, so it doesn't matter even if we're, I think even if we didn't have everything that we have, we would be trying to find a way to have this life.
Oh.
So tell me, by the way, I couldn't echo that anymore. That's one reason why, I left my corporate job. I mean, guys, I made a ton of money working for them, over the years. And it was definitely a change. And it was right time for me, but you got to also understand, I also had 2 kids under 2 years old. So it was a tough time to go full time and make that leap, whatever you guys do. But the main driver was exactly what you said, family and time. Those are the 2 things that you can't get back,
Yeah.
Although sometimes I'm like, gosh, I would love Axel to start walking, but then you realize you're like, Trump reseller said, holy wow. I mean, that's basically, you gotta And the funny thing is too, is a lot of people love eBay and they don't like wholesale. A lot of people love wholesale, but they don't know how to get into it. And so that's why I really think that you guys are going to have a massive impact when it comes to like teaching people and helping people, because you went through the struggle and you're still going through the struggle, and it's fresh. It's not like you went 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago. Like literally you started last year and it really didn't pick up until a few months ago. And guys, September last year was not that far away, right?
No.
So
it was only 3 months
And
ago.
I feel like Amazon really changed for us, as hard as it was to go full time and to like pull the trigger and just say, you know, like
Take the gamble.
like take the gamble and let, you know, what happened will happen, you know? And I feel like, you know, what we told ourselves is if it's meant to be, it's going to work. So let's just do it. And with 2 small kids and quitting your both jobs, and, you know, you lose insurance and, you know,
There's a
health
whole
benefits
yeah.
and
Retirement plans, everything.
retirement plans, and you lose that security. I had a really hard time with that. And I want everybody to know, like, I struggled with that for a very long time.
Yeah.
I probably still struggle with it.
You're saying it like you're
Like,
over it.
Yeah, because it's like the kid, like you said, like
The security blanket.
The security blanket of it. But I don't think Amazon really took off for us until we committed 100% to it. Personally,
it, you know, all I can say is it's refreshing to see people. You know, it's nice to see people in the trenches with you. That's why I said this the other day, and it's the first time I said it on Instagram. I responded to somebody that commented. So they posted on Instagram. They said, "Hey, I've learned from these resellers," and they listed my name among, you know, a lot of other good resellers' names. And I responded back, and this is the first time I said it, but I didn't really know that it really meant that much until I said it. And I said, not verbatim, but basically I said, the fantastic thing about social media and the fantastic thing about Instagram is it's the one time that you can pick and choose the energy and the type of people that you want to be a part of, right? I mean, think about it. It's such a powerful tool that, you know, in real life, sometimes we cannot pick necessarily our own family, and sometimes our friends that we've grown up with and our friends that we associate with. But on social media, you have the opportunity to pick and choose who you want to be associated with. More importantly, what energy of people that you want to be a part of, right? And learn from. And it just like meant a lot to me to be able to help that person out. But it made sense when I typed that, and I didn't really think about that until I did. So, you know, I really like you guys' Instagram. I think it looks amazing. You guys putting out great content on YouTube. We're getting kind of close here. I want to take a Q&A for everybody for like 5 to 10 minutes. So we're going to do a Q&A, guys. If you have questions, put it in chat. If you're not subscribed to them, put it in chat. And the last thing, guys, is I want to find out who here is interested in wholesale. So type 1 if you're already doing wholesale. Type 2 if you're interested in wholesale but you're not doing it. And type 3 if you are completely fine not doing wholesale. So 1 if you're doing it, 2 if you're interested in wholesale, and 3 if you're not interested and you're completely happy with what you're doing. I'm really curious to see the amount of people and what their goals are. But we'll do we will do a Q&A, guys. If you guys have questions regarding wholesale, or if you have questions regarding anything, helicopter, you know, piloting, you know, what was it?
Ashton Kutcher rescue swimmer.
Yeah. Without the hair, we can answer those questions. So there's a lot of 2s. Getting my feet wet. Pac-Man, you need to get, man, I will sync you 2 up. I think you would learn a lot from Flipping Profits. They're amazing. So there's a lot of 2s out here, guys. So the people that just put 2s, you can ask questions real quick. We'll do Q&A for the next like 7 to 10 minutes if you guys have questions. Or better yet, if you don't have questions, but you have, like, if you want to do wholesale and there's something that's keeping you from doing wholesale, maybe put that in chat too. So if there's something that is keeping you from, like, if there's a roadblock, whether it's like getting your business set up or cold calling, so that's a big portion of it, is cold calling these companies So if there is something that's holding you up, maybe I can have them explain that and help you guys out. So we'll do Q&A for about 7 to 10 minutes.
Another thing too, like to note is like on our social media, a lot of it's like retail arbitrage driven because we feel like it's a bigger market of what people like can relate to, and it's easier entry.
It's sexier. I mean, like,
yeah,
I don't know, like it's like the hunt.
Yeah, and so like we kind of model our retail arbitrage off of our wholesale business too. So like when we're actually going out there, we run a lot of the same analytical like push off of like, all right, in wholesale, we look for these metrics. Well, if I can get those same exact metrics or better in a storefront that's right down the street from my house, it's literally like walking into a new distributor's catalog and buying off the shelf when I need it. So like our approach to retail arbitrage, at least recently, has just been, hey, what else can we add on to our catalog? What else can we bring in the fold? And like, we want to show people that you can go into a grocery store and buy a spice and make $30,000 a year. Maybe right now at this moment, because there's a ton of sellers on it, but there are opportunities out there that are just like it, that are waiting to be grabbed by you. So anyways, I'll get off of that.
All right, let's get into these. Let's get into this Q&A here. First of all, Mr. Pete, the Craigslist Hunter, my other admin, my amazing admin, amazing person, really cool videos. Go check him out. You guys already are, though, I'm assuming. Says, if you do business the right way, it will change your life.
Absolutely.
All right. So one of the questions is, are you going to a lot of trade shows to search out vendors? That was the first question.
Yeah.
We're currently scheduled this year, I think, to go to 3 trade shows, 1 in March, actually 2 in March, and then 1 later this year. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's a requirement, but I do think that it gives you the upper hand without a doubt. And while you're there, if you already have pre-existing relationships, they're going to be there too. So taking them out for a drink is totally opportunity to, grasp and get, I think get the upper hand over your competition for sure.
And you guys can use that. I mean, obviously I'm not professional over here, but you can probably use that as a tax write-off, right?
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So another question is, let's see. All right. How do you begin to find wholesale? Go check. We answered, or I say we, give me credit. I didn't do any of that. Go check it. Rewind to the very beginning. We kind of went over a little bit about how to find wholesale companies. But I think the biggest thing too is like buddy up with somebody that's really successful. I'm not saying that they're going to give you the keys to the castle, but you can learn from people if you create really cool, tight-knit groups. So, all right. Let's see. I'm not there yet. It's on my 3rd year plan. Right now, I'm still building capital. Hey, money is a way to transfer from the inpatient to the patient people. So you got to be patient. Who else do you recommend to watch videos from about RA besides both of you? So, is there who's some other wholesalers?
Well, wholesalers.
The only person that has been like our constant was Larry with Watch Me Amazon. There's not a whole lot of wholesalers that are out there doing content. There is a guy, his name's Amazon Lit. They just did 22 million last year. He's on Instagram. He's really cool. There's a handful of Facebook groups that are out there. Amazon 10X, Amazon, FBA wholesalers. But yeah, just shoot me a DM after the show if you want more information on like the different groups and that sort of thing. But I'd be happy to send them your way.
Okay, so next question is do you think it's best to make a business name targeted to one niche or make it generic, for more possibilities, and I think I kind of like that's a great question because for a lot of people they put like thrifter, picker, which is fine, right? Those are cool names, but I wanted to create Wade's Ventures just in case I took up, skydiving and I want to do live videos. So it's nice to kind of like keep a,
That's smart.
yeah. But what about you guys? What do you guys recommend for that?
Well,
So we're kind of in the middle right now.
Yeah, we're in the middle right now. Right now we use just like one name for our wholesale account, but I think we are actually going to split it. Like for like if we're doing beauty, like for instance, we'll probably make it like a beauty name. Like
so we're gonna go out and actually make like 5 different websites, have the same general branding, which it's gonna be SK or whatever.
Hair and beauty, or
SK beauty, ABC, home goods, and have websites built for those individual categories.
I think it makes you look more professional and like more into selling that one product.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And then we're going to have it all siloed under one umbrella holding company, which is our current LLC.
Yeah, I think it would look a lot more professional if like you're going after home goods, they go to a website that's home good based, not like electronic based, or whatever the case is. Smart. Gosh, this smart cookies we have here, guys. Smart cookies. Okay. If they don't deliver to a house, will they deliver to a storage unit?
No, they will not.
I've never.
Everything they've said was no.
The only other workaround really for that is there's a few.
You can do fulfillment centers.
Yeah.
We actually had a bad experience doing a fulfillment center. But you can actually go straight from distribution to a fulfillment center if you do not have, like if you have no interest in having a warehouse and you can't get it sent to your house, you can actually have it sent and somewhere else to do pack and prep. But I know that they won't go to a.
There's a handful of distributors that we used to work with early on that offered Amazon services where they would pack, prep, and label it. We shied away from that company though because
we like to check all of our product.
Yeah, and we had a really bad like customer complaint saying it was inauthentic and all this stuff, and we're like, well, if that ever were to happen again, how can we show Amazon that we actually inspected the items ourselves and did the right thing and sent in proper products? So it was more of a liability thing for us. So we just found a different distributor that sold the same product and went to them instead and actually negotiated a better price.
Yeah.
But
what do you guys, if you guys look over here, you can see the dog washers. I don't know. Scott's probably.
Yeah, I know a lot about the dog washers.
Yeah,
Scott makes fun of you every time I talk to him.
Yeah, Scott. I sold one a week ago. Just so you know.
I'm proud of you.
But what do you guys do with inventory that basically tanks, that just isn't good anymore? How do you guys get rid of that stuff?
So we actually never have had any inventory that is tanked other than our private label product. I did a baby headband that didn't do well, and it's instead of paying for all the storage fees at Amazon, I'm going to have it actually sent back to us, and then we're going to probably donate it.
Yeah, or resell it on like Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, or resell it on Facebook Marketplace. Our other big product, we'll just have Amazon dispose of it. You just have to call and put in an order to have it disposed.
Yeah, but with regards to like our wholesale products, like there is a handful of times where, like Amazon will come on the listing with you. If it's a good enough selling product, Amazon's going to probably jump into it eventually.
But we never have that much product. Like we don't buy stuff that.
Yeah, we never buy anything that's like more than a month and a half to 2 months worth of inventory, unless
for that reason.
Unless it's like, like January 1, everybody knows that everybody's going to be buying supplements and anything to get fit and happy.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, well, we know that there's going to be 2 to 3 times the amount of sales volume this month.
But for the most part, we don't do that.
Yeah. We just try to make smart buying decisions and try and put as little capital into it as possible. An inch deep, a mile wide is kind of our standpoint on it.
Yeah.
Smart guys, just go thrifting and make you happy, okay? Okay, a few more questions here. Does she still go flying at all? That was a question.
I do not. My favorite instructor passed away in a helicopter accident, like right before the baby was born. So I just decided that right now my risk tolerance for it is just too great. Like I think because I have kids now, I'm like more cautious of like what I'm doing. So currently, I'm not doing that.
Do you guys drive slower or faster now that you've got?
I'm the freaking slowest driver on the world. Like, legit, I'm the guy that's going 40 and a 50. You know, like Scott and I were like talking the other week, the bearded picker, and he's like talking about how he's, or Shane, it was Shane, he was talking about how he's racing around doing like 85. I'm like, bro, I go like 65 and a 70. Thank you. Like, I'm going to slow ride it, enjoy the music, relax. You know, I'm not in any rush to get anywhere. Yeah.
It's always different. Like when you have kids, it either goes up or goes down. All right. So this is a great question. God, Pac-Man always has the best questions. Seriously, he's such an intelligent guy. So really cool. Okay, do you guys call 100% of your leads nowadays, or the digital age? Do companies prefer email contact first?
No,
we do both. So we
send an email.
We send an email first, and then we try to follow up with a phone call the next day, just so it's fresh in their mind, and just so we could be like, hey, we're just following up to see, you know, if you had any questions about us, or excuse me, or something like that. You know, we just try and
but a lot of them don't
that.
Like the email aspect of it. I feel like they like more of the phone.
I mean, there are a handful of people that we work with that only, like, I think there's one account that we work with that, that company that we fired that we don't work with, they used to only want to work over email.
Well, here's the thing is you've got to understand that the common theme here is you have to do something that people are not doing, right? And I'm not saying people are not picking up a phone call and calling, but what's the percentage of people that copy and paste an email
1,000
and send it versus somebody that actually picks up the phone and calls, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be a lot lower for people to pick up the phone and call than somebody that just copies and pastes it, you know, and sends a ton of emails to a bunch of wholesale companies. That's just my opinion. Let's see. Okay. Do you have any DBAs?
We have a few. Well, legal structure of our business right now, we currently own 2 LLCs, and then we're structuring to have under one of them 5 different DBAs or 6 different DBAs. But that's kind of like a long-term 2019 plan. And that also includes like the build out of our storefront and all that stuff that's kind of going to be put into. But that's, you know, truthfully, that's probably like Q3, Q4 is like really our goal for that. We're not in the near term looking at doing that stuff. We're just loving what we're doing every day right now, trying to enjoy life.
All right. Well, let's get into the last. I can't wait to see what their words of wisdom is. Right. That's always good. But so I wanted to, you know, we've been putting in your YouTube channel, guys. They have an amazing YouTube channel. They're growing extremely quick. Congratulations, by the way. I'm creeping on your YouTube right now on my laptop, and I watch you guys every single time you put a video out. I've got
the whole 5 videos we have. Thank you.
Yeah. I've got the bell icon clicked, so right when that thing pops up, I get the little notification. I put the world on hold to watch you guys. But more importantly, congratulations. 2 weeks ago, your first video is at 46,000 views. Your first video.
I know. It's unreal.
Crazy. So guys, go check out their YouTube channel. But I kind of want to know what's going on prime time. I kind of want to know. Oh, by the way, before I forget, Real Talk Mentor, my man, supporting again. I really appreciate you. More than you know. If you need anything, please reach out. I think you did reach out, so I'll get back to you on Insta. Regarding your YouTube channel, tell me, for everybody that's subscribed tonight, kind of give me like a breakdown of what you guys do for videos. Like, when can they expect you to put out content?
That's a great question. So I think we're trying to do 3 videos a week, right?
Yeah, that's kind of our guideline is we're shooting for 3. We definitely want to have at least 1 sourcing video. And when we say sourcing, it's like outside of the box. Like we're constantly like asking ourselves like, okay, well, what are people not sourcing that you may find a gold mine in? And so we literally like, we went to like 4 different stores on Saturday, just like thinking like, oh, well, maybe this store will have something that's good. Let's just go see, and because we want to share people, it's not that Walmart clearance is not, it's like saturated or anything like that, but there are definitely other opportunities out there and we want to like try and explore that space.
Yeah. We want to show like that you can go to any store and do this.
Yeah.
So
that one sourcing video for sure. One
supply video. We're
gonna do a supply video this Thursday.
Yeah.
Which is gonna be like in depth A to Z. What are the requirements? What are the must-haves? And what are the, if you have extra money to blow, worth buying?
Yeah, and then I think we'll probably like do recommendations on what people want. Like, so I feel like the viewers are kind of like giving us what they want to see, and then we'll probably pick one of those. Yeah, incorporate those.
Yeah.
Well, it was a pleasure having you guys on tonight. Seriously, it's always fun to talk with family. It's really rare for me to be able to talk with couples that do it on day to day, and I think that's really fascinating. And like we text, I come to know you guys. I feel like I have a vested interest in your success, and did you hear his beautiful voice sing last time we were on the Sunday show? By the way,
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it. I was watching. I was bright red upstairs. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The voice of an angel. If you guys don't, if this wholesale stuff doesn't work out, he's got a profession.
Karaoke gig in the future.
Yeah. If you guys have not checked that out, I forgot whose channel it was on.
It was on Scott's channel. I went back and rewatched it like 4 or 5 times to make sure that I wasn't absolutely terrible. Yeah.
Now we know why he drives slow. He's oh wait, it's dance? Oh, we don't even bring that up.
Yeah, if Wade's gonna dance, maybe
no, we don't bring that up. Just the beautiful singing. We don't bring up the dance moves. That's once every couple of years. So, all right, guys. So that being said, thank you so much for joining tonight. Before we leave, I want to turn it over to them, and we always leave off with words of wisdom. This could be reselling related, could be life related, could be anything related. It's not scripted. They didn't know I was going to ask them that. Yes, hit the thumbs up button. I'm telling you guys, this year is going to be the year for Wade's Ventures. But that being said, and by the way, before we get anything, Primetime Treasure, my man, my colleague, I feel like he's a colleague of mine. I feel like I can go to his house and have Thanksgiving dinner and sit around the table and it wouldn't be awkward at all. We haven't met in person yet, but an amazing YouTube channel, amazing guy. So go check him out. Primetime Treasure. I was his first interview ever on his YouTube channel. And I felt really humbled to be on there. Really knowledgeable guy. So thank you so much for the support, my man. But what is, before you guys tell me your words of wisdom, I will remind everybody one last time that February 23rd, next month, I am going to rent half of a bowling alley, and I'm going to try to get them to do cosmic bowling, which is always fun. And it's 10 lanes, has its own bar. So you have your own bar, 10 lanes, and a big area, and we're going to do a reseller meetup. I'm going to, Side Hustle Pros is in on it with me. We've got Katie and Vicky from Vegas flying out. Really cool people. So if you guys want to drive, I don't care if you're from New York and you want to drive, or you're from Seattle and California, or whatever the case may be. If you guys want to go to that event, please message me. You're going to have food, everything. I haven't got the details yet, but just message me if you would like to go to that. It is going to be from 4 p.m. from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So 4 hours. We'll be all networking and get to drink some beers together. And it is going to be in Beaverton, Oregon. So, all right. So that being said, words of wisdom. I am now turning it over to our famous guests over here.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first, man.
I think my words of wisdom would be to truly never give up, because this game of Amazon and eBay and the hustle of it can get really brutal. And if you can just hang on and stick it out through the ride, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So it would be not to give up. That would be my words of wisdom.
Awesome. I think for me, it's build a lifestyle that you want and a dream life that you want, and then incorporate your business around it. And what I mean by that is, like, if the lifestyle that you want is to play with your kids all day and do that stuff, then wholesale makes sense. But, if you're into, I don't know, like, we went through all those different things of what we did, wholesale, RA, like constantly on the grind, looking for stuff from our RA standpoint. And it's like back then, not knowing it, but it's like, if we had kids at that time, to go out and do RA sourcing wasn't built around the lifestyle that we dreamed of or that we wanted. So find something that you can build a dream around of how you want to live your life, and then build your business around that to support that lifestyle. So I know it's kind of a long-winded, everything I say is long-winded. But I don't know.
I just want to be a wholesaler selling on Amazon. Like,
I really want to be on, like, The Voice, but that's not a real dream.
never give up. Never give up. All I can tell you guys is, I think the theme of this, and even the theme of Sunday's show, when we did Sunday's show with, the group, you guys are all on Sunday's show. It's think outside the box, but more importantly, do something that necessarily the crowd is not doing, right? Instead of go to Walmart, go to Walgreens. Instead of doing, clothing, venture out into hard goods and bigger items, because there's just less people doing it, right? So I find that that's the same way when I do stocks. Is a lot of people think the stock's going up, but the majority of people that make money are betting it's going to go down, right? So
absolutely.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining tonight. It's been amazing. Sorry we had to push the show. But my
Thank you
amazing
for having
folks
us,
here,
babe.
you guys did amazing. You. So, and to your better half, the kiddo. Can we see the kiddo before we go?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is Cruz. He is, I think, when was your son born?
Oh, he is, he is 6 days away from 7 months now.
So he's 6 months.
Mm-hmm. He was born July 18th. 16.
Let me lock the screen on you. What? Where did he get those eyes?
His dad.
Dude, if those are not the most blue eyes I've ever seen in my life. Seriously.
He's having a time playing in front of the light.
he's just like my little guy, like, got the fingers in the mouth constantly.
Yeah, he's obsessed with them.
And does he grab daddy or mommy's finger and tries to put it in his mouth too all the time?
He just did that to me the first time today, and I was like, oh, that's a new thing now. Because our daughter never
did the hands in the mouth.
She never did the hands in the mouth. She never did
the
pacifiers. So he's just been a whole new experience in more ways than one.
Kids change your life, guys. Seriously. All right. Have an amazing night, guys. Thanks so much for joining. Again, this is Wade's Ventures. Look out for another storage unit video tomorrow, and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, because I'm going to bring the fire this year in the YouTube world. So have an amazing day, guys, and much love. See you later.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wade.